Okay, good day, class. For this recording, okay, I have to apologize if I cannot turn on my camera as I am not exactly in the formal clothes right now. So, but instead, what we're going to talk about is process-oriented performance-based assessment. Okay, or at the very least, some parts of this module, as I will divide this video into different parts again. Okay. So let us first define what is performance-based assessment because we have talked last time about authentic assessment and that we said that all authentic assessments are performance-based assessments, but not vice versa. So, we're going to look at the definition of Macmillan of performance-based assessment. Sabi niya, okay, PBA is a type of assessment where teachers gathers observational data and uses this data to evaluate the learners based on their demonstration of a skill. Okay, so the main idea behind performance-based assessment is that you need to see, you need to observe several traits of a skill or competency that shows a student has high skill in the said task. So ano po ba yan? For example, you want your students to know how to make a PowerPoint presentation. So you have to set different collections of tasks or criteria that shows the skill. For example, a student may be good at Excel if they know how to balance the colors in an Excel. Okay? In a PowerPoint. A student may be good at teacher demonstrations if they do know how to modulate their voices when they are delivering their content. A student may be good in role play if the sense of immersion can be felt by the audience. So all of these criteria can be set by teachers when they are doing performance-based assessment. Of course, yung characteristics po ng authentic assessment ay papasok din dapat sa ideal na performance-based assessment. Okay? Yung pagsasabi ng criteria sa mga students before starting the actual test. Okay? So, furthermore, Furman of 2005 suggests or emphasized that PBA focuses on the abilities of the students to produce their own product. Okay? So, ano po ba yung mga products na yan? Using this definition kasi ni Furman, okay, ang mga products ay yung mga nagagawa ng students, what they are able to produce. Okay? Okay. So, this idea of Furman actually focuses on one of the tenets of problem-based assessment, okay? Which is yung actual focus ng ating discussion for this module, okay? These products exhibit the concepts that they have learned, okay? Kasi nga, ang pinaka-goal ng performance-based assessment is to have something that the students have made, okay? So, yun yung pinakaunang assumptions ng performance-based assessment. There should be something that is tangible, okay, coming from the students, whether it be a project, it be a written output, etc., etc. Okay? So, sabi rin dito, ako nga palang sabi dito, char. Ang PBA, of course, as I said earlier, it follows the characteristics of authentic assessment, okay? So, obviously, PBA bases itself, okay, on the skills of the students, skills which are a manifestation of what they have learned throughout their lesson, okay? And of course, when students are using their skills, especially skills that they are confident in, this also improves the motivation of the students to make the best of their performance, which is why product-based performance-based assessment is useful when you want to motivate your students as well, okay? But of course, this can be a double-edged sword, lalo na yung mga student na mabababa yung skill. Myself, for example, I am not really good at drawing. Okay? So, pag meron kaming assessment noon that's based on drawing, I feel so bad because that's not something I'm good at. Okay? But if I'm good at something, for example, mathematics, okay, I'm more motivated to do it because I know that I want my outputs will be among the best. Okay? So, while PBA allows learners to translate their learnings into skills and products, it allows the teachers to determine the effectivity of the process or procedure used and the product created due to the performance task they have set. Okay, this sentence talks about the establishment of two branches, or basically two kinds of performance-based assessment. One that focuses on the process and procedures, and the other that focuses on the products. Okay, this continuous process of determining the appropriateness of assessment tools goes away from traditional assessment, etc., etc. Okay, because again, performance-based assessment is subjective. It is open-ended. Marami kang pwedeng makuhang performances and products na hindi mo inaasahan. Unlike sa objective test, unlike sa traditional test na meron kang iisa at iisang tamang sagot lamang. Okay? So, let's move on to the features of performance assessment according to Papham in 2011. So there are three features here. Let's start with number one, multiple evaluation criteria. The performance of learners is evaluated in more than one criteria. Okay? So, kapag makikita nyo po yung rubrics, okay, hindi lang po iisa yung criteria dyan. Napakadami po iyan because a student performance, a student process, a student project can be evaluated in many different and diverse, okay, criteria. And each of these criteria must show that if a product follows this criteria, it has good quality, okay, or it is a good particular output, okay. Pre-specified quality standards, okay. The criteria of the assessment upon which the learner's performance should be judged and blah blah blah. Sorry, basahin nyo na lang po. Ang ibig lang po sabihin dyan, again, hindi ka po pwedeng magpa-performance-based assessment if you did not convey what particular standards you're looking for. Okay? Kasi nga po, ang halimbawa, poster making si Teacher A, yung mga gusto ni Teacher A na quality sa poster assessment, maaaring iba sa mga gustong quality ni Teacher B sa parehong poster assessment. That's why your students must be oriented what are you looking for in a particular output. Ano ba yung hanap ni ma'am? Para doon kami mag-focus. Okay? And then you have judgment appraisal. When you say judgment appraisal, okay, it means na kayo as teachers will not be replaceable because judging a particular human output requires a human judge. Okay? Because again, what you're judging are students. And ultimately, what you want to understand, what you want to know is what can you do to improve the performance of the students? What particular remediations can be applied to a particular student's skills for them to improve, okay? And only you as a teacher can specify, okay, can customize these needs of the students, okay? So those are the three features of performance assessment according to Papham in 2011, okay? So, Cahigal and Mantuano added that, okay, let's highlight this one. Oops, what are you highlight? Okay. Should be based on real life context. Ano ba yun? Ang ibig sabihin nun, your performance assessment must be authentic rather than just randomly selected, rather just selected kasi gusto mo. Okay. It should be based on real life contexts na pagdadaanan ng mga students. Because contextualized task, yung mga task na based sa real life, of course, they are much more usable by the students. They are much more reflective of the students' capability to be within a society. Kasi nga, ano ba yung pinaka-primal goal ng education? The primal goal of education is to have students be ready for their living as a member of the society. So hence, ang mga task dapat natin, it should reflect what the society currently does. So, tama, singular society. What does society currently do in their own functioning? Okay? So, yun lang po yung pinaka-idea po noon. Because again, ang performance-based assessment, just like authentic assessment, is able to assess the deep learning of the students, a deep learning that they must extract themselves, that they must use in their everyday lives. Okay? So, punta naman tayo sa types of performance tasks. Okay? So, si Musial, okay, si Musial noong 2009, they have listed several, okay, types of performance task. And as you can see, nakaibang font yan because I have copy-pasted kung paano yung definition ni Musial sa mga task na ito. So, ang unang task is solving a problem, okay? So, sabi ni Musial, okay, problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills are integral in the development or the cognitive development of learners. Okay? So in order, of course, to develop the problem-solving skills of learners, they must be involved in solving a problem. Okay? Kaya po mahirap ang mga tests sa mathematics because it relies almost solely on the student's capability to handle different variables, handle different given. Okay? Yung mga given na yun, hindi sila tuturuan kung paano. Technically, tinuturuan sila, pero hindi sila, what do you call this? During the test, hindi sila tutulungan ng teacher. Yung tipong, isipin mo mabuti, what can you do with these variables? Which of these steps can you do to bridge you from the given to the unknown? Okay? Kasi ganito rin naman tayo sa real life. Pag meron kang problem, okay, you have to look at the possible solutions. You have to identify which of the solutions is the most efficient, okay, the most feasible, okay, the most doable with the given resources that you currently have. Diba? Pag meron kang problema sa pera, ano yung gagawin mo? Pwede kang mangutang? Yes. Pwede kang magnakaw? Yes. Okay? Pwede kang mag-budget? Yes. All of these options are given to you. However, you have to discern ano yung pinaka-correct. Okay? Based on a particular set of criteria that you yourself has selected. Okay? Kasi ganong skill din naman yung gagawin natin sa real life. Marami tayong problems. Diba? Okay? And hinahanap natin solutions doon. Okay? And then, we complete an inquiry. Nako, ito yung medyo hindi nag-aano nagagawa. Okay? There are times when I converse with people and then they ask me about several things that I believe should be in their basic knowledge. Okay? So, pag ganun yung feeling ko, sinasabi ko, ang hirap i-define. Basta i-google mo na lang. And then, sometimes, people go back. People Google, and then they come back to me. And sometimes, they don't. I have no idea why. Okay? So, sometimes, when you are placed in your future workplace, okay, not everything will be taught to you. Okay? Pag sinabi ng boss mo, gumawa ka ng narrative report dito sa particular incidents na ito, hindi mo alam kung anong part sa narrative report. Okay? So, what will you do? You complete an inquiry. Ano po yung format? Pag sinabi ng boss mo, tanongin mo na lang sa iba. Okay? Medyo busy na siya. Tatanungin mo sa HR or sa mga advance sa mga mas matagal na doon sa company kung meron mang format, kung ano yung hinahanap, kung paano isulat. Okay? So all of these things requires you to what? Requires you to independently study. Okay? A particular set of rules, set of formats, set of problems, okay, or set of procedures that requires you to do a task. Okay? This is ang pinaka first encounter nito. Pinaka first encounter ng mga college student dito ay sa research. Because your advisor and your teachers do not know what you want to study. Hence, you should be the one to complete the puzzle pieces. Okay? Ang gagawin ng mga teachers mo lang, i-guide ka sa path na pwede mong sundan. However, they will not force you there. You will be the ones trekking your own path. Kaya mahirap pa rin ang research para sa iba. Kahit sa amin, mahirap ang research because wala nang gaano nagtuturo, and it largely depends on our initiative to search. Okay? And the letter C, determining a position. This is commonly used sa mga tinatawag na position papers. Okay? So, this is very useful for social science majors, wherein you can task your students or you can task your classmates or colleagues to determine where they are in a current issue. Okay, for example, what do you feel about the current Israel-Palestine conflict? Okay? So currently, ngayon, as I am recording, one news I have read is people in the Philippines trying to boycott McDo because McDo supports Israel. Okay? Now, again, I do not want this to be political, but of course, when you try to determine a position, you have to indicate what makes you choose that position, what makes you not choose the other position, what are the advantages and disadvantages of choosing a position, etc., etc. Okay? For example, divorce. Okay? Are you against or for it? Why? Okay? Do you want to clarify the particular things that are stated in this particular scenario, etc., etc.? Okay? Determining a position requires you to choose a position. It's simple as that. Okay? And then you have demonstration task. Okay? When you say demonstration task, these are tasks wherein students are required to demonstrate a particular step, a particular procedure, or a particular action. Very sanay na kayo dito sa mga demonstration task. Kasi ginagawa nyo to every time. Demonstration teaching. You demonstrate kung paano gamitin yung IM. You demonstrate how you talk in the class. You demonstrate how you, what do you call this? Manipulate a problem into a more interactive classroom experience. Okay? Sa mga younger learners, this can simply be done by replicating something that the teacher did. Sorry. Nalulutang ako, alas 5 kasi ng umaga. Anyway. So, for example, in-adjust mo yung settings ng isang microscope or inayos mo yung shapes based on their number of sides. Pwede mo pagawain sa bata yan, okay? Sige nga, ikaw nga, Clarice, ipag-arrange mo nga to, gayahin mo yung mga isinet ko sa table. Okay? And then sa high school, pag meron silang microscope, okay, Carl, pakiset naman itong magnification para madali nating makita yung nucleus ng cell. Okay? All of those things are demonstration tasks. Okay? And then what you have is developing exhibits. If you recall in your previous subjects, when you develop exhibits are a collection of projects. Okay? So, of course, saan ito makikita? Sa paggawa ng mga portfolio. Okay? Sa pag-compile ng mga nagawa ng projects ng mga students. Okay? So, as a teacher, pwede mong ipagawa sa students ito. Okay? What do they need to show? What type of exhibit are they going to set up? Ano yung criteria mo para masabi na maganda isang exhibit? All of those things are under a, a particular exhibit. Okay? And then next, you have presentation task. When you say presentation task, this is when students present a particular action. Okay? Ang pagkakaiba nito, ang demonstration, ikaw lang yung audience. Sometimes ikaw lang yung audience, sometimes merong iba. But ang presentation task, it is made to be watched by the audience. Ito yung mga task na pwede ka maglagay ng audience impact. Okay? Sa iyong mga particular criteria. For example, yung mga role plays, singing, storytelling, mga modern dances. Okay? Minsan kahit yung sport, may mga 5% na audience impact. Okay? Because all of these things are meant to be watched by others. Okay? So, minsan kasama, pwede mo rin ilagay yung confidence. Pag, alimbawa, kumakanta yung learner, diba? Very confident. Makikita mo sa kanyang posture, okay? Sa kanyang voice, sa kanyang pagtingin sa audience. Those things can be added as criteria for presentation task. But again, the main idea here, the main difference ng presentation task sa demonstration task is presentation tasks are meant for presentations. They're meant for an audience. Demonstration task does not need an audience. It needs only a teacher. Okay? But it does not mean na hindi pwedeng walang audience sa demonstration, ha? Okay, okay lang na merong audience, okay lang na wala. Pero most of the time, you don't need them. Okay? So, capstone performance. Okay? So, when you say capstone performance, sabi dito, these are tasks that shows or that enables a student to show na meron na silang skills and knowledge that are reflective of the current practicing professionals. For example, research paper, practice teaching, and on-the-job training. Okay? So, yung mga OJT, required po ito sa inyong mga particular course. This is to expose you to the environment and to show na meron na kayong particular skill that allows you to integrate yourself into that environment. Okay? So, kayo, when you become teachers, some of you will hold practice teachers. Okay? You have to understand that what the what do you call this? That what the practice teacher coordinator wants to establish here when they send practice teachers to you is that dapat paglabas po, okay, sanay na po sila sa classroom, ay sanay na po sila sa work environment. Okay? Ganun din po yung pinaka-goal namin, obviously. Okay? Pag nandun na kayo sa job, you will act like an employee. Okay? You will act as a worker on that particular field. Okay? So, those are the different types of performance-based assessments or performance tasks according to according to Musial in 2009. Okay? So, again, performance-based assessment are assessments that focus on the skills of the learners, and they are roughly divided into two types, which are process-oriented and product-oriented. And then they are further divided into different parts as according to Musial. Okay? So, anong kailangan dito? Ano yung features nila? Number one, meron silang madaming criteria. Hindi lang pwedeng isa. Okay? Aside from madaming criteria, dapat nasabi mo sa students yung criteria na to. Because this criteria can differ from one evaluator to the next. Okay? And finally, you use the judgments. Okay? You use the judgments to further improve the performance of the students. What they need to do next and how do they remediate their weaknesses on a particular performance-based task. Okay? So that is all for the recording, and I'll see you all on the next part. Okay? Bye, class.